Hello, Pisces, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of November 16th through the 22nd. And during that time, we have a waning crescent moon that comes in. That's a time of surrender, rest, and healing. So keep that in mind for the first part of the week. Then we've got the new moon that comes in on the 20th, 21st, depending on where you are. And that energy can last for a few days. And of course, that is a time for a fresh start, new beginnings, a good time to learn a new skill or start new work or make new decisions. So keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading, so as always, please take what resonates and leave what doesn't for someone else. All right, and your overall message for this reading, Pisces, is take time to breathe out. Oh, anytime I see that card, it just reminds me to breathe out too. Oops, perfect. Dropping cards off my table over here. All right, we can get to those later. As I'm shuffling the tarot, I would like to say that my fun weekly reminder this week is that you learn something new. So a lot of times as adults, we forget to really deep dive on things that we want to learn. If you're like me, I feel like I'm learning something new every day, but then, to really go deep on something, I kind of have to set that time aside. So that's my reminder to you. I will also try to do the same this week and just really take a few hours, maybe read a book, watch a lecture, whatever it is that you're trying to learn, but maybe take notes and really absorb the thing that you're trying to learn. And that is just my fun weekly reminder for you this week. All right, Pisces, without further ado, let's get into this reading, November 16th through the 22nd. Take time to breathe out. Your overall present energy is the Three of Wands. So you may be thinking about a new venture. It's totally the right time for it here with this new moon that we have coming in. This could be thinking about travel. Maybe you're planning a vacation right now. Maybe you're thinking about summer and thinking, where will we go on summer vacation? And let's get that planned. So definitely something that's on your mind and you're thinking about it. And that's always a good thing. That's a fun thing to think about right now, this time of year. Your current situation is the Ten of Pentacles. So definitely on your mind is kind of wealth, security, and this is more of like a long-term card. This is a great goal to have. Moving forward, this is kind of building wealth for not only you but generations after you. We've got a whole generational thing going on here with grandpa and the couple and the dogs, and there's even a little guy here peeking around the corner. So we're kind of thinking about things in a further out than ourselves, right? How can we have an effect, and not just materially, but also when it comes to wisdom, those things that we want to pass down, morality, those spirituality, those other things that you also want to pass down through your family. So it's thinking about those, and that stuff's on your mind, and maybe a vacation is the way to foster some of those things, right? At the root of your situation is the Six of Wands. So feeling like a little bit of celebration. Maybe you've recently had some sort of recognition from, this could be recognition from your peers or from maybe your employer. It could be that maybe you get a little bonus and you're thinking about putting that towards that vacation, or making the decision, do I invest that bonus for some long-term wealth, or do I take a trip? That's certainly a decision. So um, take time to breathe out. And maybe that card indicates that maybe it is time to, maybe you can do a little bit of both. You could be responsible and go on that vacation, but you can also put some of that money away for a rainy day. So keep that option in mind too, that sometimes it isn't either or, but it's how can we kind of do a little bit of both. What is in your recent past here is the Queen of Swords. So, you're coming into all of this with, that your energy is very logical, very intellectual in the way that you're coming into this. Not like like, had this been Queen of Cups, you're not going to make the emotional decision. You are going to make the logical decision, because that's just where your mindset, that's where you're coming into this from. What's on your mind right now is your ultimate happiness here with the 10 of Cups. So look at both of these 10s showing up, by the way, too. This is happy, healthy family in the emotional way. So happy, healthy family in the financial way. So it looks like you're on the right track and doing things and making those kind of responsible decisions that are logic based and not emotion based, which is great. You're doing great. Time to breathe out. Looks like you've been working hard. What is just ahead of you is the Wheel of Fortune. I love this reading. I love that. So, maybe a big change is coming, but look, we have another 10. That's three tens on the table for you. I mean, I would say that's pretty significant numerologically. So definitely we'll see if we have more tens, but look up 10, 10, 10 in the numerological realm and see what that message says for you. But Wheel of Fortune is about just evolving, moving, changing. Life is ever changing, evolving into the new thing. Just about the time you think, oh, I've got a handle on this life, no, things change. And all of a sudden your routine is different. And you've got to get a handle on that. So that's just the evolvement of life. And that's ahead of you is probably looks like another turning of that wheel, as another maybe little change that moves your life into a different direction and just kind of changes your day to day. Okay, what is in your advice position here is the King of Wands. So be knowledgeable about something that you're very passionate about. Take the time, like I said, it's a good time to learn something new. If there's something that you have a passion, and this could be according to this reading, anything, and maybe it's your family, maybe it's, having a passion about making sure that your kids are getting the best education, and you're going to be passionate about your school choices. So you're starting to look into that, and that's just kind of your new hobby, your new passion, your new interest. It could be investing. It could be that like, oh, I've learned how to do this investing thing and it's paying off. And so that's my new passion. I'm going to be on that and checking it every day. But your advice there is to really be knowledgeable about this thing that you're kind of passionate about right now. Go ahead and deep dive into that. What is beyond your control this week? Wow, look, another 10. So some sort of ending wrapping up for you. I mean, we've now got four tens on the table, which is kind of unheard of. I've never one, two, three, four. We'll see if more come out, but that's pretty crazy. Something's wrapping up. I don't even see this as being a bad thing. I feel like again, it's this evolvement. It's that this is changing and now your life is going to be a little bit different. It's kind of just the evolution of things. Like it's not some big shocker of a change. It's like, oh, we kind of knew this was coming. Here we are. We're at this crossroads and now life's going to be a little different moving forward. What is your secret desire or what you're trying to avoid? Okay, now this is just nuts. Sometimes I just had a nutty reading. It was Capricorn's reading was off the charts. If you have a Capricorn in your life, and that reading, just for fun to watch that reading, is insane. That reading, the cards that came out were literally crazy. This is also just as crazy to me with all of these tens. Like, are you kidding me right now? So this is secret desire or trying to avoid, and this is trying to avoid being done something mentally. You're pushing through to the end of something here, but it's like you've got these tens are endings, but they're also happy endings. At this point, they're just endings and things are evolving and changing again. I feel like, whatever's going on with you right now, like you're wrapping things up in a good way. I don't think it's bad. Like I said, I don't get the feeling that it's something that it's like a tower or something very disruptive. It's just kind of the expected ending of something for you. And it's just going to lead to new beginnings here. So that's pretty amazing, though. Let's see what I'm afraid to pick up your final outcome card, but final outcome here is a 4 rest and meditation. Well, thank goodness. So, yeah, take some time, especially at the beginning of the week, for that rest and meditation. Again, take time to breathe out. You're at a turning point here. So, you're at a turning point with this Wheel of Fortune where things are just kind of evolving into the next phase for you. Um, and I don't know, this could be in so many different ways. This could be, I think of like if it's a relationship, you're just moving into this next phase of your relationship where you're ending some things but starting new things that are positive. If this is, something with your family, it could be that there's just a change. Maybe one of your kids is changing school. You may have one going off to college or one going into daycare or leaving daycare and going to school. There's just it's like the evolution, and you're thinking about those things long term and how they're going to affect you, and you're thinking about them in a positive way. It's not like a negative thing. Do take time to breathe out. Don't stress too much about it. It's just the evolution of life. What is hidden from you at the bottom of the deck, Pisces, is the Two of Pentacles, which is kind of about juggling, keeping things in the air. You're not doing that this week. That's hidden from you because you've kind of got it all going on. You're thinking about the future, and like I said, in the way of new ventures or vacation, travel, that sort of thing, and being very logical and responsible about it. So I love this reading, as crazy as it is. So please go look up angel number 1010 10 10 10. What is that? 5 10s. See if that even exists as an angel number. Watch out for that number this week. So that's amazing that all of those 10s popped up. So, Pisces, thank you so much for being here with me today. I do hope there's something in this reading that you can take away and use. If you're comfortable sharing, drop me a message down below. Let me know, was there some synchronicity in your life where 10 made a difference? Were you seeing that number a lot this week? And actually, I didn't even do the wrap up because I'm so excited about those 10s. Let's get a final message card. I was actually wrapping up a little early and forgot about these cards, and I started looking for them to see their numbers also. Let's get a final word here from the Soul Oracle deck, because I'm really laughing at this reading. If this hesitant, face your adversaries. Okay, and it says number 38. Face your adversaries this week, whatever that means for you. And these just could be mental adversaries. I don't see anything adversarial in this reading besides maybe these endings, and just kind of face them. They are what they are. It's like I said, it's like the next evolution. What do you need to do in the way of self-care this week? Self-care for Pisces this week, and the card that you get is speak up. If you avoid conflict to keep the peace, you start a war inside yourself. So speak up if there's something you need to speak up about, especially when it comes to any of these endings. Again, be they happy, sad, whatever they are, just make sure you're speaking up. But it looks like you're doing great. You're being celebrated, moving into things very logically, and just kind of enjoying your happy life. Take that time. Take time to rest and meditate and breathe out. So once again, Pisces, if you're comfortable sharing, drop me a message down below. Let me know if these 10s have any significance to you this week, or if you're seeing other 10s. I'd be very curious to know about that. Also, if you like my reading style, please hit like and subscribe. It really helps my channel, but more importantly, it'll help you find me next week, where you can come back and we can see where the story goes for you next time. So thanks so much for being here, Pisces. See you next week. Bye-bye.